Welcome, I'm Rogers Anderson, and today we have the distinct pleasure of being with a gentleman that oversees one of the largest facilities we've got in Williamson County, and that's our Ag Expo Park. Kenny Wallace, how are you today?
Good morning, Mayor Anderson. Glad to be here.
Well, we appreciate you being here and all of your hard work. And this show, I don't know that we can get in everything that's has occurred in about 11 or 12 years ago on a facility that was put in on the south side of I-6, well, not on the south side of I-65, south side of Franklin.
South side of Franklin, that's
On
correct.
I-65 down at Paytonsville Road, and of course so many things have happened. But before we get into the ag, I know Kenny Wallace is born and raised kind of a native around this part, down
true.
around Flat Creek. Tell us a little bit about Kenny.
Mayor Anderson, I was raised in Williamson County, lifelong residence. Still live, my wife Mary and I still live in the Flat Creek community, because we refer to Flat Creek as it's one of the last holdouts where development sort of has not reached that, but there's a few new houses springing up, but Flat Creek still has a lot of open space and a lot of big family farms and all that.
Now, people may not know where Flat Creek is, Kenny.
Oh man, now Flat Creek is the southeast corner of the county, right before you go into Marshall County, down through there, and on the west end of Flat Creek, you run into Murray County. So a lot of people know where Bethesda is. So if you just keep easing around southeast of Bethesda, you'll eventually find Flat Creek. But there's no signs that says you're there. You just know when you're there.
And I'm sure the name Flat Creek, there must be a creek there with a whole bunch of flat rocks.
It is, and several years ago, Flat Creek claimed me. It's probably been 10 to 15 years ago. I was in the creek, getting ready to go fishing, sighting me some minnows, and the creek claimed me and snapped my elbow in two. So Flat Creek is quite a place. And of course, Flat Creek is known for the king of the ice cream suppers, and it's always the third Saturday in July. But Flat Creek's a great community, great place to have been raised, and great place to live, and it's just wonderful people in that community.
Well, and a lot of the people watching this show, certainly around the Franklin area, will remember your mom and dad both still active in the Flat Creek community. Your dad was a county commissioner many moons ago. Your mom has always been so active in the many things that have transcribed out, that have occurred out in the Flat Creek area, in the Franklin area, from the ice cream supper you talked about to the, I guess at one time today they serve hamburgers and hot dogs, but it used to be probably just ice cream and fish and everybody bring a plate.
Absolutely, and that is such a tight-knit community out there, and like I said, we've had some newer folks come in as bought some property up in our community, and but it seems like when they come in, they buy big chunks of land, and so there's a lot of farms that's still left, and we're glad of that. It's nice for me living in Flat Creek and going to the ag park every day. I come the back way. I don't get in all this traffic that comes into Franklin and all that. I get to go the back way, which is pretty nice for me.
Well, and it's a good lead in to our ag park. Some 12, 13 years ago, Clint Calicott was what we call then the county executive. Mm-hmm. And Clint, in working with the community, and probably if there's one organization that he was looking at, if you call it an organization, is the agriculture. Clint being raised upon a farm up in the Grassland area. He had a great affiliation for farms and cattle and horses. He also was involved with an organization called the Noon Rotary that held, and I'm not sure what number they have had, but since 1948 or 49, they've had a rodeo continuously We often hear of Mr. Ed Moody. We hear some of the great men that have been involved in that. Of course, Mr. Moody is still living, still semi-active. Of course, certainly our prayers go out to him and his family. Absolutely. As he is aging and not able to get around like he used to. But fast forward, the Ag Center was built. It certainly had some controversy. We just can't say that it didn't, right, because a lot of people did not understand what was going to occur out there. Tract of land, about 100 acres, was purchased right off from Paytonsville Road, Long Lane. At that time, from that exit all the way back up to Highway 96, there wasn't much on either side of I-65, exactly right, and you could still get up and down I-65 north and south, exactly, even during traffic time, with some degree of you could get to work on time.
You could get to work on time, that's exactly right.
Fast forward to here we are in 2012, 2013. Wow, the interstate has now had to be expanded. We're getting ready to look at work on the Paytonsville Bridge, and then the next step of from Paytonsville Road down to 840, which 840 just opened up here in the last few months. Wonderful. You can go from Murfreesboro, you can actually go from Lebanon at I-40, Rutherford County, through Williamson County, back over to I-40 going to Memphis. It's a long journey that way.
It's a long journey, but it's a nice road.
It's a nice road. You normally don't have the traffic confines that you would going through downtown Nashville. So the Ag Center was built. Right. Wow, how far we have come in 10 plus years, 11 years. Talk to me a little bit about it.
And Mary Answer, you're exactly right. There was controversy at that particular time about the Ag Center. But I think what spurred that controversy was we were kind of dealing in uncharted territory there. Our county had never built a building like the Ag Center, and we were tapping. There's so much potential there that has come to fruition today, but everybody just thought it was just going to be a big arena that have a horse show every weekend. Well, it's became so much more than that. As a matter of fact, horse shows probably don't make up about 30% of our business at this time. But we came along, and then you being elected as county mayor, you took over that end of the ag park, appointed me, and we kind of hit the ground running there, so to speak. We had a lot of bridges to cross, and I can remember back to some of them. I won't get into them, but it was some difficult times for us, really difficult times. But we had a mission. We knew we had a great county, absolutely, tops. We had a great location. We had great management through you as our county mayor and our county commissioners, seeing a vision that built this great facility. So we sat down and we said, what do we need to do from a staff point of view that we have to get people to come to this facility? We want repeat clients. And so we sat down and we said, we want to have something for everybody. We just was not particularly targeting the equine industry. We were not particularly targeting the cattle industry. We were targeting everybody. We knew, of course, as you mentioned, Mr. Ed and the Rotary Club. Of course, the Rotary Club came, and gosh, it's home to the rodeo now. But we put on a program there at the Ag Park. We went after some business. We went after dog shows. We did go after some horse shows. Then, lo and behold, when we got our feet on the ground, we started getting big trade shows then. And then we built, we built great relationships with these people. And just to give our folks listening an idea, we've built these relationships. We just don't have, we do have clients, but we have great relationships with these people that they have now, their shows succeed when they come to the Ag Park. There's long-time clients. We've had clients that's been there since day one. Those people donate money to the Ag Park, and it improves capital projects out there. We don't have to go to the county commission and ask for money. We've added so much electrical out there just through donations. Miss Mary Lizzie Manier, who is a dear friend of mine, in her estate, she left us a substantial amount of money, as you know. We built a new open-air arena out there. We've just done things, we feel like we've done things the right way. We've built those relationships.
And you've done a great job, and you have a wonderful staff.
Thank you. They are great. They're good. They're tops.
And you figured the limited staff that you've got to balance a working schedule. Certainly, we don't encourage overtime,
right?
And so you have to balance that because the lights are on just about all the time at the Ag Center, Ag Park. But a couple of things you said, and I think it is important to note. Williamson County is the fastest growing county in the state of Tennessee in population.
Right.
During the census from 2000 to 2010, we grew about 44, nearly 45% population-wise. Yeah. Now, most of that growth, in fact, all of that growth, occurred within the city limits of Franklin and Brentwood and Spring Hill, Thompson Station, Nolensville, and Fairview.
Right.
The county side, for the most part, stayed status quo, and that's not just by design. Not just by luck, it is by design. In our comprehensive land plans we have, and our growth policies and our zoning, that our population in the county really didn't explode, although our county as a whole did explode as the number one in the state. One of the areas, though, that people forget, and you mentioned it before you started talking about the Ag Park, we still have large tracts of farmland.
Yes, we do.
Now, we don't have as many as we used to 20 and 30 years ago, but we still have large tracts of land, and there are still a lot of ag occurring on these tracts of land. Now, we don't have many row croppers left anymore. Right. We don't have many large, Brian Sanders and the Jules family, they're still doing a lot of beans and corns on contracted services all throughout our county. But there's still a large segment of our population that's in the cattle, the horses, and a lot of people just do not realize just how much the horse industry means to Williamson County. Now, you've got Sissy Anderson and her late husband, Mac Anderson, out here off of Hillsborough Road that has enormous horse shows from spring to early fall.
Absolutely.
And there are other parts of our county that occurs in. There are some beautiful animals all throughout Williamson County.
Absolutely.
That they have a higher price tag than anybody would care to even talk about. But along those same lines is the parallel, and oftentimes people equate you with 4-H. We have Dwayne Perry, who works, actually is a University of Tennessee employee.
Yes.
But the 4-H side has just flourished.
Oh, and of course, for our people that may not know, the 4-H offices are housed in the Ag Park. That part of the building was the last constructed. So Dwayne has got a wonderful staff over there. They've got a great program, and it's the beef and the lamb part of
and goats
and goats and horses, and it's everything. We have a lot of kids that live in city limits within our county, but they're still active in the goats. And And hogs. We have kids that are showing hogs in this county. And you know, I know of hardly any pork producers in our county anymore. Every farm used to have hogs, but it's just not the case anymore. But then on the animal side of 4-H, Dwayne has worked, and they've done a great program out there. Shooting sports. We have kids now that are shooting air rifles. They're shooting bows and arrows. These programs are busting at the seam with these kids, and of course, they do all this at the ag park. What a lot of people may not see is after 6 or 7 o'clock at night, we still, a lot of times, we're having 4-H events in the arena, and all through Dwayne's direction out there. But our youth program out there, I mean, we've touched literally thousands and thousands and thousands of kids, and that's what it's all about.
You know, you go back to those early days when the Ag Center was built, and we knew what we thought we wanted to use it for.
Right.
I'm not sure we really had maybe we had blinders on.
I think we had blinders on at that particular time.
And today, the facility is used well into the 52 weeks in the year, so it's well over 40.
Right.
Some events almost every weekend, not talking about just a week, from trade shows
Right.
to children's shows. And of course, one of the earlier things we said we wanted to do was make it available, because Williamson County didn't have something like this, just for graduation.
Absolutely.
And some of the schools have used us from day one, and the price is really reasonable.
It's a very reasonable price. As we had some schools that came early on, and they, as you remember, Mary Anderson, there was one time when we had graduations, and it was kind of warm in the Ag Center. We didn't have the air conditioning, so air conditioning was installed under budget, and so those schools came back to us, and we have Fairview, Page, Centennial, and Independence that will be graduating in May of 2013. So, and the price is right for them, because
It's free.
it's free, and that's what I still have people that I meet in the community and says, "What do you charge those schools to use Ag Center?" I said, "We don't charge them anything." And it's just not graduations; it's other events that we have out there. We have job fairs. You know, we have so many events that the school and 4-H use out there, but there's no cost to them.
I think it is important to note here that there are a lot of events that are allowed to use those facilities, either a room or the facility,
Yes.
such as graduation, where there is no price. There are many functions within counties and cities that are able to use it either free or a very reasonable nominal fee. Now, those organizations that are 501c organizations, they call them not-for-profit.
Right.
Of course, the one that you know and I know is like the Williamson County Fair.
Yes.
That's an organization that must pay to rent the facility.
Yes.
And other events that come out there that are for-profit, coin shows, gun shows, you name it, they've been out there.
They've been out there.
They pay for the use of the
pay for the
facility.
use of the facility.
And in turn, we give them that right to that facility. Either they can purchase a small area or a large area,
Right.
parking lot area, you name
Right.
it, they can use it. And as a general rule, Kenny, you've done an outstanding job of kind of changing the direction of where we were headed in those earlier years. I think everyone thought, well, we'll build it and then we'll let people have it. And you can't sustain that.
No, you cannot.
Because that's a real drain on the budget. That's a real drain on just your budget individually, but even over here where all the money is processed. And so we did come up with some equitable charges. We made a substantial investment when we put the air conditioning in.
Absolutely.
And it was very much needed, but it had been cut out of the original budget when
Right.
the facility was built to get to get the facility in, but it didn't take long to realize you needed that air
We
conditioning.
needed the air conditioning.
From about April or May through about September, it's a little warm in there.
It's a little warm in here.
And so you can purchase the facility, you can rent the facility, lease the facility, and there's a way to do that. They can go to the website, they can call you, they can book those events right up almost to a year in advance.
Right.
If no one else is using it, we're willing to talk to you. Now, we don't allow alcohol.
No.
There are situations where you might have a 1-hour event that you want to do something special. It has to have county commission approval.
Absolutely.
But the facility is a county taxpayer facility. It is leased or rented out with proper insurance, and the facilities are monitored, what you can and can't do out there. And so far it has been a wonderful blessing, because you've had the opportunity to see the things you talked about earlier, some of the things that were extra and beyond. You were able to either have them donated or purchase it for you or give it to you.
Or give it to me, exactly. And that's where I go back to Mayor Anderson. We go back. They're just not clients. They're friends, and we've built those great relationships. You know, Williamson County Fair donated a lot of money to the Ag Park. A lot of money.
Rented and donated.
Rented and donated, exactly, on top of paying the rent. And then I think of another one, the Nashville Kennel Club, who is based in Nashville, and the Ag Park is their home, and donated a lot of money to the Ag Park, and it just helps. It helps us improve our facilities. That we do not have to ask for that capital money to make these improvements. It's donated, and more, and I mean so many more of them. But a facility like ours, what we have to be very conscious of what our clients need, because when they come to a facility like ours, and just not ours, other facilities across the country too, you can talk to other directors, and that we're all basically on the same page. When they come to our facility and they're paying to use it, they expect a certain level of service and a certain level of amenities that they get there. And it's an ongoing process. We have to stay on top of it. You know, we have to make those improvements. You know, the facilities, and it still have to be clean. Restrooms have to be clean. You don't want people coming in and say, oh man, you know, we're never coming back to this. And that has not happened to us.
We've had some events that have come, and you know, I'm trying to remember the name of the event at Kix Brooks and the Futura event.
The Futurity.
The Futurity event that was here right after the fair, always in September.
Right.
And of course, they've changed their direction.
Sure.
And we've had events that have been with us several years that moved on to different events. We've picked up events. One of the events that I think has had a huge effect. Now, we've had events from synchronized ice skating. I still think that's one of the most.
That's one of the tops.
That's one of the tops, that you could freeze an arena floor and keep it froze for synchronized ice skating.
It was frozen for a week.
Frozen, that's right. And I will never forget going out there. I don't think there were any Tennessee teams involved.
There was not.
They were all from the North and Midwest. And eastern part of the United States. But for a week, we had a whole bunch of young people here doing synchronized ice skating, and dog shows. We've talked about the fair. Many events that Dwayne has put on out there for 4-H. Just too many to really name, but we do encourage people to come out.
Yeah.
And if you have a need for a large facility, it seats 4,000.
4,180.
4,180. You can certainly add more seats to it.
We can certainly add more.
It has heat, has air conditioning.
Exactly.
It has ample parking. And I think one of the things about the Ag Park we never envisioned in those early days of just how many events are put on out there that use our schools for them to raise money for their bands and for their sports programs. And I kind of digress, but one of the areas 2 or 3 years ago, I guess this upcoming year, was the state wrestling.
Yeah.
They were looking for a home. They were looking for a home in Middle Tennessee. They were looking for a home in Middle Tennessee that they could put it on that was reasonable.
Absolutely.
And you met their needs.
And we met their needs. And they had been holding these two particular tournaments in Chattanooga for over 30 years. And so they came and met with us. And they said, this is perfect. And of course, people say, oh, wrestling. Well, after we had the ice skating, we felt like we could basically do anything. We didn't think, we can get wrestling in here. And it's the TSSAA. They have 2 tournaments a year, huge amounts of crowds that come in there. And it brings people from all over the state. They come, they visit our community, they stay in our hotels, they buy gas here, they go to restaurants here, they go to our mall. So,
And I think that's important. Sometimes we talk about the ag park, and it's not one thing you've done or I've done, but it's this collective process that we've gone through. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it benefits our tourism function. People come to this town and see the level of service that they can get. They stay in our hotels and they spend their dollars, and in 2, 3, 4 days, they're out of here.
That's right.
And they leave their money behind. And as Judy Hayes has said many, many times, how many dollars that those people leave behind helps to hold those property tax rates down. Everything has a connecting link that gets us on down the road. So. Hats off to you and what your staff have done. Kenny, we got about 1 minute left, and I might have overlooked something that you would like to say. Your time.
I would just like to say thank you and your staff. Thank you, our county commissioners. Thanks our clients and the people that come to the Ag Park and visit us. We appreciate you coming. If you need more information about the Ag Park, you can call us at 615-595-1227. Amy will be glad to take your phone call. She's there every day. And then if you want more information, you can go to the county website, click on agexpopark.info, and you can get a list of everything that's happening at the Ag Park. And like I say, we just appreciate what everybody's done for us to make it successful. We've got 10 years under us, and we're looking for the next 10.
And I suspect with the growth that we're having in Williamson County, I-65 south and north corridor, down around the Paytonsville Road exit, is going to change again.
It's going to change again.
Thank you, Kenny. I'm Rogers Anderson. We'll see you around the county. Have a good day.
Recycling grocery bags is catching on.
Here's my favorite.
Let's reduce packaging by getting one big bottle, and it's recyclable.
Ooh, this box is heavy.
Oh, we'll get this small container of concentrate instead. It's recyclable too.
Now that's smart shopping. Less packaging and more recyclables.
Oh,